ほら吸い込んだまた吸い込んだ吸い込んだらカービィ強くなるそれパラソルだそれハンマーだ出てくる敵キャラやっつけろほら吸い込んだまた吸い込んだ吸い込んだらカービィ
星のカービィがファミコンソフトになった。すっごくカラフル。
ますますやんちゃ星のカービィ夢の泉の物語よろしく
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Well, as you can see, just right now I played that original Kirby commercial released back in about 91, 92. That's the original commercial back in Japan. If you saw my previous video, I did say that I did get a package from Japan, and that's actually what we are going to review today. We're actually reviewing the original version of Kirby for the Famicom. Here in the United States, this game is called Kirby's Adventure, but back in Japan, it's actually got a real long title. I'm probably going to butcher this. So the title is actually called Hoshi no Kirby Yume no Izumi no Monogatari. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I'm sorry. I tried my best. I do know some Japanese. I did write it down so I can more or less properly pronounce it. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and actually do a quick review for that game, the original game of Kirby's Adventure on the Famicom.
Okay, so right off the bat, of course, the game is in Japanese. Of course, it is a Japanese import, so the game will play in Japanese. Now, there's not much needed to know of the Japanese language on reading, since this is a platform as compared to RPGs where it is text heavy. You know, there's no language barrier on this type of game since, like I said, it is a platformer. You don't need to know how to read very much, or even not at all. Now, the Famicom version of Kirby's Adventure usually goes for like about $3 to $8 on eBay, sometimes for about 10. The US version will normally cost you like about $16 to like about $25. That's normally the price range that I've seen it go for on eBay. I've seen it sometimes peak up to $30, $35. In this case, I decided to actually get the Famicom version because, you know, it is way cheaper as compared to the US version. Kirby's Adventure is a 1993 platform game developed by HAL Laboratory and was published by Nintendo for the NES system. In this case, we're talking about the Famicom version. It is actually the second game in the Kirby series right after Kirby's Dream Land, which was released in 1992 for the original Game Boy. It is the first game to include the copy ability, which allows the main character, Kirby, to gain new powers by eating certain enemies. The game centers around Kirby traveling across Dreamland to repair the Star Rod after King DDD breaks it apart and gives the pieces of the Star Rods to his minions. Because the NES hardware had greater graphical power compared to the Game Boy, this is actually the one of the biggest NES games that were released. It actually totals at around 6 megabytes, where the average NES game was mostly around 1 to 3 megabytes back in the day. Nothing compared as to what we have nowadays on Blu-ray disc, you know, spanning at terabytes or gigs now. Kirby's Adventure was the first Kirby game to depict Kirby in color. In the US version, Kirby is actually depicted as the color white on the US cover, as compared to the Famicom version, Kirby has always been depicted as the color pink. Kirby's Adventure was well received and commended for its tight controls, level variety, and the new copy ability. It was remade in 2002 for the Game Boy Advance with enhanced graphics and multiplayer support, titled Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland. The original NES version was re-released later on Nintendo's Virtual Console digital distribution services, Nintendo Switch Online, and with stereoscopic 3D with the 3D Classics product line for the Nintendo 3DS. Kirby can walk left or right, crouch, and jump to attack. Kirby inhales enemies or objects and spits them out as star-shaped bullets. He can also fly by inflating himself. While flying, Kirby cannot attack or use his other abilities, but he can exhale at any time, releasing a puff of air that cancels his flight and can be used to damage enemies or destroy blocks. New moves include the ability to run at fast pace and to perform a sliding kick. A major aspect of the game is Kirby's copy ability. By inhaling and swallowing certain enemies, Kirby will obtain powers based on the special ability the enemy possessed. Copy abilities allow Kirby to access new areas and experience levels in different ways. Certain copy abilities can also be used a limited number of times. Kirby can discard his ability at any time or lose it when he is hit by an enemy. He must recapture it quickly or it will disappear. The game itself consists of 41 levels across 7 worlds, each containing a lobby with doors leading to 4 to 5 regular levels, a boss fight, and a warp star door which enables Kirby to travel back to previous worlds. Most worlds also contain mini-games which allow Kirby to gain extra lives. Museums were also added to Kirby's adventure, where he can easily gain certain powers and fight in arenas where Kirby must battle to win against a mini-boss to win health and allow him to copy the boss's special ability. The game automatically saves the player's progress after each level. The objective of each main level is simply to reach its end. If Kirby touches an enemy or a dangerous object, he will lose a section of his health meter. If all his health is lost or he falls off the bottom of the screen, the player loses a life. Losing all lives results in a game over. Kirby can touch or eat food items to replenish health or gain temporary invincibility. Nintendo themselves thinks that this game is actually more difficult than what it looks. Kirby's Adventure is considered one of the best NES games by journalists. Nintendo themselves have ranked this game as number 69 as their best-selling game ever. Kirby's world of Popstar includes many regions of different climates and terrains, which are home to many different creatures. Kirby also has several spin-off games in the series, which include a variety of different gaming genres, such as pinball, puzzle, racing, and games based on motion sensor technology. A number of these side games take advantage of Kirby's round, ball-like appearance. There are 2 re-releases for this specific game, one for the Wii titled Kirby's Dream Collection and another for the Game Boy Advance titled Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland. Kirby's Adventure has sold 1.75 million copies. Graphic-wise, as you can see already, the graphics are very childlike, kind of like drawn in a crayon. Very different as compared to other NES games where they have the pixel style art. This is more smooth and child crayon-like. Okay guys, I really hope that you all enjoy my review. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna go ahead and end this already. I'm gonna go ahead and fight the boss to the first world. This weird looking tree, I forget his name, Wispy Woods I think is his name. And then after this, I'm gonna go ahead and follow up with the US version of the Kirby commercial that was released here.
Who's Kirby? Behind the flabby facade, a physical powerhouse, a street fighter, a weapons expert. He's whatever the situation demands. In Kirby's Adventure, evil King Dedede's stolen Dreamland's dreams. Now Kirby's fighting to get him back, level by nightmarish level. That's Kirby. He's cute. Till you cross him, then he's one tough cream puff. Kirby's Adventure on NES.